There are whispers, whispers of a world you were never meant to see. Behind the curtain of your everyday life lies a network, a web of ancient secrets guarded by men in robes, men in suits, and men with power. From candlelit chambers beneath cathedrals to polished boardrooms towering over the modern skyline, they move pieces on a chessboard you didn't even know existed. Freemasons, the Illuminati, mystery schools. This isn't a conspiracy theory video. This is a journey, one that will challenge everything you thought you knew about history, power, and the very fabric of reality. But be warned, some truths aren't meant to be known. What if I told you that the great revolutions of the world, the empires, the kings, even religions, were not random? That behind every headline in history, there's been an unseen hand. Let's go back, way back, ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs, hieroglyphs, and gods carved in gold. But beneath the sands and sun gods was something deeper, older. The Egyptian mystery schools taught that the body was just a prison for the soul, that death was not the end, but a door. They believed in ascent, not of power, but of consciousness. But here's the twist. Only the initiated were allowed access. The rest fed myths and stories, while the elite studied secrets of the stars, geometry, sound, and light. This hidden knowledge flowed into Greece. Pythagoras, yes, the triangle guy, wasn't just a mathematician, he was a priest of the mysteries. He spoke of transmigration of the soul, sacred geometry, and the idea that numbers governed all things. He said, all is number. But he also said, silence is the first step toward wisdom. Why silence? Because to speak truth in an ignorant world is to put your life at risk. You may think of Freemasons as old men wearing aprons and sipping scotch in wood-paneled rooms. Think again. The modern Freemasons trace their lineage to the stonemasons of medieval cathedrals. But those cathedrals, they weren't just churches, they were codes carved in stone. Every arch, every angle, a message. Temples built not just to honor God, but to reflect the divine blueprint of the universe. The Freemasons believe in the great architect of the universe, not a bearded man in the clouds, but a force, an intelligence, one that reveals itself through symbolism, sacred geometry, and initiation. Here's where it gets controversial. Some of history's most powerful men have been Masons: George Washington, Winston Churchill, Mozart, Voltaire, Simón Bolívar. Coincidence? Or was the shaping of the modern world guided by an ancient code? Ask yourself, why do Masonic symbols appear on the US dollar bill? Why the all-seeing eye? Why the unfinished pyramid? Here's the hidden message. The work of humanity is not yet complete. The word Illuminati sends chills down spines. It evokes images of secret handshakes, blood pacts, and global puppeteers. But it started differently. In 1776, the same year the U.S. was born, Adam Weishaupt founded the Bavarian Illuminati. His goal? To free society from religious control and monarchy. Sounds noble, right? But here's the controversy. The Illuminati infiltrated Freemasonic lodges. They recruited the elite, princes, poets, professors, and used symbols and initiation to test loyalty. To the public, it was just philosophy, but insiders whispered, "We are forging a new order, one that hides in plain sight." Then suddenly, they vanished, or so we're told. Some say they were dismantled, others say they just went deeper underground. Today, their fingerprints are found in tech monopolies, banking families, entertainment icons flashing hidden hand gestures, celebrities covering one eye, a nod to the all-seeing eye of Horus. Is it just branding, or are these sigils, marks of allegiance? In all mystery schools, whether in Egypt, Greece, the Templar Order, Freemasonry, or the Illuminati, one thing is constant: the initiation. To be initiated is to die before death. The initiate is blindfolded, symbolically buried, led through darkness, then reborn. This rite isn't symbolic. It's transformational. It's designed to break the ego, to awaken the higher self. But here's the dark side. Some say the rituals grew twisted, that certain factions began practicing actual sacrifice, not just of ego, but of innocence. That children became part of these rites. That the ancient idea of killing the lower self morphed into something literal and horrifying. Testimonies from supposed ex-members claim underground chambers beneath cathedrals, black robes, chants, inverted symbols, rituals invoking non-human intelligences. Are they lying? Or did they see what was never meant to be seen? Now we enter dangerous territory. What if these secret schools weren't just about political power, but about shaping reality itself? Mystery teachings often speak of the great work, the magnum opus. What is it? To transform man into God, but not through faith, through knowledge, through ritual, frequency, thought control. They believe reality is programmable, that your beliefs, thoughts, emotions can be manipulated to create a collective illusion. Think about mass media, religious dogma, educational systems. Are these tools of truth or tools of design? In occult philosophy, the human mind is a temple. What you build inside becomes your world outside. So if they can shape your thoughts, they can shape your destiny. And if enough minds believe a falsehood, it becomes a truth. Let's talk about something you use every single day without realizing its ancient, arcane power: language. What if I told you words are not just tools for communication, but spells? That's why they call it spelling. Mystery schools taught that the universe was brought into being through vibration. In Genesis, and God said, sound birthed creation. The Egyptians had Thoth, god of wisdom and writing. The Greeks had Hermes Trismegistus, keeper of the emerald tablets, where it's written, "As above, so below." This wasn't poetry, it was technology. They believed that language could shape reality, that words plus intention equals manifestation. And what about symbols? From the pentagram to the double-headed eagle to the G in the Freemason square and compass, these aren't decorations. They are sigils, codes designed to unlock subconscious archetypes. Your conscious mind may not understand, but your soul does. Why do you think corporations and governments use symbols, logos, and colors with precision? You think it's just branding? They're not selling you a product. They're programming you into a story. Here's where we step deeper into the darkness. The Freemasons claim to be a brotherhood of builders. The Illuminati claim to be philosophers of freedom. But behind the curtains of history lies something older. A web of bloodlines, families whose roots reach back into Babylon, Egypt, and Samaria. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Merovingians, the black nobility of Europe. They marry only within their kind. They hold ancestral lands and titles, and most importantly, they guard the mysteries. But what if the mystery is not just knowledge, but essence? Some claim these families aren't just elite, but genetically different. That long ago, they made pacts, covenants with ancient entities, spiritual beings not of this earth. And in exchange for power, they offered something in return: blood. This is where we enter forbidden territory. Accounts exist from whistleblowers, ex-royals, deep insiders who speak of ritual abuse, generational trauma, and ceremonial sacrifice designed to feed non-physical beings. Is it just horror fiction? Or is there truth in the phrase, "To whom much is given, much is expected"? Let's get specific. Over the last century, there have been leaks, moments where the curtain slipped. In 1967, William Morgan, an ex-Mason, went public with Masonic rituals. Weeks later, he disappeared, presumed murdered. In 1990, whistleblower Svali, a former high-ranking Illuminati member, described how children are indoctrinated using trauma-based mind control. She claimed she was forced to witness sacrifices. She escaped and went public, then vanished. More recently, entertainers like Kanye West, Dave Chappelle, and Azalea Banks made cryptic comments about industry rituals. And then there's John Hod, who in the 1970s exposed the Council of 13, a shadow group said to be steering global occult influence. He claimed many churches were fronts. He was discredited, institutionalized, and then disappeared. But the most chilling testimony comes from Ronald Bernard, an elite Dutch banker who broke down crying on camera as he recalled being invited to a child sacrifice as a test of loyalty. He walked away. Others didn't. You think mystery schools died out? Think again. They evolved. Today they operate under esoteric orders, think tanks, Ivy League fraternities like Skull and Bones, New Age movements, elite global forums like the Bilderberg Group and the World Economic Forum. They don't wear robes anymore. They wear suits. or yoga pants, or lab coats, but their goals remain the same: control of knowledge, gatekeeping of power, transmutation of humanity into something else. Transhumanism, digital consciousness, artificial intelligence, they all echo one phrase from ancient alchemy: solve et coagula. Dissolve and recombine. Destroy the old human. Rebuild the new man, not born of nature, but of code. Sound familiar? Mystery teachings speak of the homunculus, an artificial soul or body created through occult science. Now, we have lab-grown embryos, synthetic DNA, and AI with emergent behavior. Have we come full circle? Or is this the final initiation? Here's the question everyone asks. If this is all true, why doesn't anyone speak out? The answer is simple: because the cost is everything. You don't break ranks with a system that's protected by blackmail, surveillance, ritual oaths, and generational loyalty. Most who try are silenced, discredited, or destroyed publicly. They don't just threaten our mind, they threaten your soul. One insider once said, "The first rule of the order is the blood oath. The second is to forget the first." But sometimes a crack appears, a whisper escapes, a warning is written into fiction, hidden in film, or expressed in cryptic interviews. Those who see understand. The rest dismiss it as entertainment. Let's step back. Not all teachings in these mystery schools are evil. Not all Masons are corrupt. Not all symbols are sinister. The truth is nuanced. The ancient knowledge contains wisdom, that we are more than flesh, that reality is malleable, that inner transformation leads to outer mastery. The dark side arises when ego, greed, and control replace love, truth, and service. The serpent can both kill and heal. The same knowledge that creates a prison can also build a temple. So here's the real secret. You are the initiate, and this life is your rite of passage. Whether you stay asleep or awaken is your choice. But the moment you start asking, who am I, really? What is truth? What lies beyond the veil? That's the moment you enter the path the mystery schools have guarded for millennia. Because in the end, the greatest mystery is you. If this video shook you, good. Truth isn't supposed to comfort, it's supposed to awaken. Share this with someone who dares to question. Subscribe for more forbidden knowledge. And remember, the light is only visible because the darkness surrounds it.